Welcome back, everybody. Let's check out daily highs and lows over multiple time frames. Alright, so a lot of this looks like a bunch of information, and it is. Alright, so 4-hour time frame, a daily time frame, and a 1-hour time frame. Then we see our highs and our lows. These are our green and red bars here. Green and red here. And we don't have any over here yet. So we're going to go ahead and add them. We're going to edit our study. And we've got a few things we're looking at. We don't really need all of this stuff, so let's get rid of our fear and greed study, our mean reversion. Let's see, let's get rid of this one too. Alright, and now we'll go in and just add our regular high and low study that Thinkorswim has. And we get our daily high and low here. And now we see that on the 4-hour chart of AMC. Well, we see AMC doing a very special thing here and a certain thing here. And that's kind of interesting. Alright. But let's change that up just a little bit, because we see a break, below a line here, or above a line, but we really don't know which direction that, line is. So let's give it a little color so we can distinguish maybe a break of a high and break of a low. So we'll edit our study again. We'll have our daily high. We'll just give that a little green color. Our daily low. We'll just pick a red color. And now we get our daily highs and our daily lows. Okay. So we'll go back to two charts here. So we see our daily highs and our daily lows. And this is built into another study here. We'll get rid of that. And we'll jump over to Penn. Penn was one of the ones on another one of our lists that was expected to go up as of yesterday. Did it? And it did. Okay. Well, we can see it's kind of getting narrower and narrower and narrower. Okay. It's kind of getting squeezed right there. All right. As it popped above in the TTM-LRC that is kind of based on standard deviations, standard error type of things. Okay. But we also have this volume chart here. That tells us when we're experiencing, say, half or more of the greater volume. So we get to see that represented in these bars here. Now this is a custom study. That's not with Thinkorswim. Well, we see we get a break of the high, and it trends up until it finds a new support there somewhere in here. And then it even gets squeezed a little bit more, and a little bit more. So it gets squeezed tighter, and then it opens up, squeezes out, squeezes tighter, squeezes tighter. Now here we are. Kind of looking for a move there. All right. But this is on the 1-hour chart. Let's go down to 5-minute chart. But with Penn breaking out, and it either needs to start using this as its support, or it's going to continue to be resistance, and it's going to get pushed back. Kind of looks like it might be on its way for a run, but we really need to see an up signal coming soon. So this could even be an indication of a really tight bid-ask spread. Alright, but we're taking daily high and low there. So let's maybe change our time frame. So we can change our time frame for our daily high and low. Right now we have it on a 4-hour time frame. We can change it to a 1-hour time frame. Of course, it won't work below or above 1 hour. Okay, see 4 hour, it does not work. Let's go to 1 hour and it will start working. And you can see them there. Here they are, getting squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter. All right. So we'll see how we open up and see if we open up with greater volume or not. And see whether we break high or break low. But we certainly are squeezing into kind of a wedge there. Let's see what's on our watch lists. On the Darvis True, we got Air C, EQR, SPIR, and FRTA. This is picking up a Darvis box buy signal on the 4 hour. Okay. AMC does look interesting, though. We'll go check it out. And let's see which ones are going to gap up fast here. We'll have to come back and go through some of these. And Sava is on the volatility daily scan. That's interesting. Well, we are getting an upward signal here, are we not? And it should be pulling back above into this mid-range where it typically likes to trade. Although it is 2,500% away from its 52-week average, so I do believe AMC is also 2,000%. All right. Let's look for the Kapok Daily True. See if there's anything there. All right, let's jump down to one chart. Here we go. And I don't think that this bottom one with the dynamic momentum index is going to do us any good now. But it does seem to work to give you some type of signals. The lower time frames don't work as well. The longer time frames work much better. Okay. You can see when it breaks above, it's overbought and oversold positions that we can see these runs here. So with what we're doing now, we might even see a little drop even more before we break back above and start to trend back up. So it's almost charted out to do that. So we'll see if we stay within this squeeze for a while and which way it gets pushed when it finally gets to the end. So we'll keep watching that one on the daily chart. Okay, what's next? Probably not likely to find anything on that list. Ooh, all right. DFNS. And we can see the dynamic momentum index did catch something here. And it caught a signal before it took off at the 52-week low. Very good. a V on. Looks like it caught a little bit of a signal here too. So it can be relied on further out time frames. Although this is a weekly list and we are on a daily time frame. So to sync up with those signals, we would want to go back out to some form of a weekly time frame. All right. We can see we get a break here, but this is likely to get rejected. Sustainable opportunities. I mean, I'd like to see that if they've got a good company model, do well, but we might see a trend up here too. DHT Holdings. We've got RPT. Now these are going to be long-term swing trades. This looks like it might finally come out of its low and start to trend up, but really we're going to see a bit of this move here. So look for that. Kind of looks like that's the way of it. Whoop. Whoop. And LPL, LG display. Okay, is that like our TVs, our monitors? Okay. So this might even be a little tricky. They might even push it back under for a while and then let it pop up. And pull it back and then let it go. And that's the way a lot of these waves tend to trade in a 3 and 5 pattern motion or more. They can repeat that multiple times. Okay, now this Cabot looks like it's trying to trade sideways here. All right. So let's take this point from right here and draw it straight across. Very good. This will be interesting, but at the pullback, it is giving the sign for current dips. Dips are good. 826 just paid out a dividend, so after it crashes into a dividend, it should start to trend up afterwards. But we do have several levels here to get through, okay? And these big tall wicks don't tell a good story of it getting through those levels easily. All right, so watch this Cabot core. But long term, they should be trending up. So we can come back and watch those later. We'll keep up with those. All right, where do we want to check out next? This was a weekly. So let's check out, well, it's money flowing out. Is there a money flow index? We can go with the daily. Okay. ADAP. This one might already be done too. AEVA. Not a lot of info showing up on that, so I'm not really jiving on that too much. This looks interesting. Okay. Park Ohio Holdings. Probably has low volume, though. Yeah, it does. It doesn't have very big volume, but might be a decent place to look for a small short-term return. And this here, without really breaking above this 50% very much, I don't really want to trust it. Could be doing any one of these numbers. But as it has hit a 52-week low, dividend coming up. Okay. So it probably will get a little bit lower into this dividend before it gets to go on up. And then if they do trend up and happen to report a bad earnings, that'll pull that price down. I don't know what this Joy Incorporated is, YY, but watch out for that. But long term, looks like it's making a good move. So we can pay attention to those later too. And our 52-week low on the daily, those are good to know because that is what we're looking at and taking into consideration on this list. is our daily highs and lows. So we'll change our daily high and low now all the way back out here to the week. And we can see where those levels are now. And we can see if they're within the wick or outside of the wick. Okay. And SPRT is at the top of the 52-week low daily. So actually quite a few of the memers are, and even the VIX. Oh, I should not laugh at that. Okay. Yeah. But the VIX does have just extreme room to move if it gets moved in the right direction. If they can get on top of this, they do have the ability. But I don't think that's what we really want. Well, some of us may want that. Okay, the Weibo Corporation. All right. Check them out. Xair. A lot of these kind of seem like their moves have already been made based on the rock bottom detector. So I like using our rock bottom detector here. Then when we see that, we look for a big giant move in volume. We see that here. And then we look for a break above, that high. So we see that here. All right, let's bring this down to the daily, and we will still see the weekly, highs and lows. But maybe we want to know the daily breaks above. So we see our price breaks above it. That price goes on up. All right, let's change that now back to daily. Day. There we go. Show only last period. All right. And we see price breaks above our daily high, and it continues to trend on up. All right. So those are things we look for, too, on daily time charts. If we see something like that, let's look here. We get a break above our, say our oversold. Then price is, once again, above our daily high, and price trends on up. All right. So those would be good opportunities to put in call options. And in the same aspect, when price is found below, then that would be a good time to do, these put options. Because once you own the share, up here at the top, you can do the put option to sell it at this price, and then it all starts to make just a little bit more sense. Okay. And see here, we're coming out of a, we're going to say a rock bottom time. All right. And a lot of this is just buying back pressure. So we're not going to worry about looking at too much of this. That's not interesting in the tallow. But there are many of these here, and we can't quite go through them all. Really, we should try to narrow these down. Yeah, that doesn't really look great either for right now. Let's find another list to play I Spy with. There we go. Now this is the Smart ADX. Now this is one that a lot of people are going to use on the side and not really talk about, all right? And that's got SPRT, RIDE, RLX, ZNGA, PFE, TAL. Now that's let's see, yes, this education, the Chinese education stocks, yes, okay. Yes, very good. And we've got the select quote. I'm not familiar with that, but we are getting a big volume coming in on a low, so that's a good thing. But we need to see something better happening here. All right, but this Smart ADX will give you some good signals, and then you need to look for some bid-ask spreads that you can get into. All right, Smart ADX. And then we have these Squeeze Pro. And that's going to give you stocks that are being squeezed. But we also know ones that are being squeezed on multiple time frames. And that's where you really touch on the power of this scan tab here. Okay? When you can get something that has squeezes on 6 time frames and another type of signal as well. And based on all of that, we get PSTG, which is Pure Storage Incorporated.com. And we are looking at a good signal here, or we did get one back here. This run could already be over, but it has created a low here. So this might be a place, let's see, 2333 would be the place that I would look to get a possible entry. And if it started to fall below that, I would look to start doing puts downwards. But we can also see what the market makers' overall size or position, how much of it they might control at a current time. But we can do that in another video. So that's using your daily high and low to look for when price might close above, a low or a high of another day. So, cabloads and collodes and, those types of things. And they can be really helpful. So you can find lots of information about that, but this is where I'll leave you asking more questions than with answers. Get out there and make some money, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and subscribe. That's the best way you can help me out.